Welcome to Forever I Love Atlanta Glue and Capri Style. This is a very special glue interview for me because it's from my hometown, the A. I have with me today one of the Nichols brothers, Mark Nichols, and he's going to talk to us about his brother, Brian Nichols. For you that are from Atlanta, I'm quite sure you know that name. And for those of you that don't, you're about to find out about the glue man behind the name that put a stop on the city of Atlanta on March 11th, 2005. Mr. Nichols, Mark, I appreciate you for coming to Glue Land today. How you doing out there in the A?
I'm doing good. I'm glad to be here. It's nice to be here.
And I appreciate my homegirl, Lisa L. Renee from Facebook for glue connecting us today. I want you to talk to us about you and your brother, the Nichols brothers, before March 11th, and tell us a little bit about you all after March 11th. Who is the Nichols brothers? Who are the Nichols brothers?
Well, before March 11th, we grew up in Baltimore. We both attended high school in Baltimore. I graduated, but when it came time for Brian to graduate, my parents moved to Atlanta. But before that, we were really close. We had our little sibling rivalries or whatever, but we were close. We kind of grew apart a little when they moved to Atlanta because I was running around in the streets in Baltimore doing everything wrong. And he was down here getting his life not saying getting his life together. He was always together, but he was living down here. And I moved down here maybe 10 years after that. We're pretty tight. We're pretty tight. When I moved down here, we hung out, whatever, did brother things, playing a video game, Xbox, whatever. And then, March 11th hit, but I wasn't here then. Let me say that, though. I wasn't here when that happened. I was in Florida when that happened. But, pretty much we had a very close relationship. That's my only brother.
Okay. And now since March 11th, and he's behind bars, have you two gotten closer? What did this incident do for you? We're going to talk about the incident first, but I'm always concerned about and let me tell you what GLUE stands for. I didn't tell you that. It stands for God loves unconditionally everyone, and it's our duty to give love unto everyone. And even back then, I remember the last person involved that Brian let go, saying she saw the God in him, and the compassionate person that I even felt and remember seeing in the news, despite what had happened. I know that there's a glue guy there, and you are the voice for him. So I want you to tell us a little bit about Brian and yourself, the glueness of you as people outside of the incident, but outside of the horrific tragic that did happen in Atlanta.
Well, since he's been incarcerated, I recently talked to him about a week ago. Okay. I haven't seen him in a couple years, but my mother, she goes to see him every Friday. He very rarely comes out of his cell except for on Fridays when she goes. It's just, since that incident, it's just been I'd say the 5 years after that, 5 to 8 years after the incident, it was kind of rough,
Okay.
Because when you go through a trial like that, it's just not you on trial. Him on trial. It's the whole family, and
That's right.
you find out stuff about your family that's real ugly that nobody talks about, and then it comes out in the media, and then you have all these prosecutors and black people that think they're white or whatever. I don't know. I don't like the prosecutors here, so and they just trying to slander my mother and my father, and just make everybody look bad. But we survived through it. We pulled together, and Brian, he calls. He sounds good when he calls. If it would have been me, I probably wouldn't be getting phone calls. I'd be in a straitjacket somewhere.
That's real, because I was looking at an article that when they interviewed him from WSB News, and the question was, why would they give him the time of the interview? And people miss that we're all humans first, and we had something to alter our thinking to
Right.
make us do horrific things. And I do recall where Brian was saying marijuana contributed to what happened with him, where there, and you said the family secrets. I'm all about exposing family secrets because I feel as if the family secrets were talked about, Brian might not be in jail. And people don't agree with me on that because they're looking at the crime that he did as opposed to what happened to him when he was a little kid. And
Right.
whatever, anything of the family secrets you want to talk about, I'll leave that up to you to show families how to, be there for their younger kids before they do things as an adult that they can't take back. I'll
Right.
leave that up to you. About your book coming out today, what is the premise of your book? What is your book about?
My book just tells a tale of two brothers. We grew up in middle class America in Baltimore. We both went to the same private school. He went to a military private school from like kindergarten or first grade to fifth grade. He was in a military school. We didn't want for anything. We had all opportunities to go to college and be successful, but I chose the way of the streets. He had chosen the right way, but then he snapped. He got caught up in something, and that's how he ended up doing what he did. So it just tells a tale of how we grew up. It goes through our whole life. It's from childhood, our friends, through our teenage years, adulthood, even to, I didn't really want to talk about the trial too much or what happened because that's public knowledge. So I mentioned that a little, but I even go past that and let people know what's happened to him while he's been in jail and how he's doing in there and crazy things that have still happened years after the trial that have gone on. So it's just like a whole full life account because with Ashley Smith's book, you only get 7 hours.
That's
Her
real.
7 hours, right? You get 7 hours of her and Brian together, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving you a whole lifetime in this book. So if you want to know how he think, a lot of people wanted to know after that movie what was going on with him before. So my book gives you the before.
And what I'm getting ready to bring up is these 7 hours that Ashley talked about, the God that's within Brian that she portrayed as a victim. And I thought that was cool that she was able to do that despite him holding her hostage. That said a lot about her being
Right.
able to connect on a spiritual level during such a horrific time. And now that we've talked about Brian the man, either you or I can tell everyone exactly what Brian did in Atlanta as a, I would say, drug-induced person and a hurt person. Would you like to?
Well, talking to Brian about the situation between him and Ashley. Is that where you want me to go?
I want you to talk about what exactly did Brian do in Atlanta to cause it to just shut down for 2 days? Because I'll let you tell that because as you say, it's public knowledge, but I also know some people don't know exactly what Brian did. And you and I are here to talk about the man before the crime and the man that still exists today beneath what the media says about him.
Well, he was on trial originally for rape to
Yes.
a young lady that he had been with for 9 years. And it was a whole bizarre thing between him and a reverend, and that really made him snap. It wasn't like he was running around in this drug-induced state. No, he wasn't. They were in counseling, him and the young lady that he was together with. They were in counseling, and the reverend flipped it on him. I think the reverend, I don't even like calling him a reverend.
I
I'm
think
not
he
gonna say
I
what
think
I
he
want to
did.
call him, but I don't even. He
Say what's on your mind, man.
I mean, he used what Brian was saying and what they were talking about in their sessions to get him with his girl.
I believe that.
So that kind of made Brian flip. So, you know, that's where it all started from. You know, he put this trust in this person. You know, they going to church, Brian's playing piano in the church for him. And then for him to cross him like that, that's just, it was a little bit too much for him to handle. You know, they had 9 years together. So I know he loved her. And for that to happen like that, we have temper problems.
That's real.
You know, we have temper problems. We cool, we'll laugh with you, joke with you, everything. But if you flip that switch, it's a whole nother different level. You know, so that switch got flipped, and that's when he started spiraling down. And I tried to catch him because he called. I got a phone call for him. I got a phone call from him, and he didn't sound right. And I sent one of my friends to go get him one night from doing something that night to, I don't even like calling him a reverend again, but you know,
And you in Glue Land, man. Speak your mind, speak your heart. We gonna give love unto you just the same.
Right.
I can dig it. Trust me, I got a name for him too.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna go somewhere else with it, but yeah. So that started his spiral down, and I think after that, that's when he started using marijuana and drinking more. You know, before it was just recreational. You know, we were smoking, play the video game and whatever. But, you know, after that, I think it just got to be something that he used to either settle him or whatever, get his mind right or whatever he was doing. But I know it got a bit excessive after that incident started happening.
And from my standpoint, that's where I talk about how church itself, I know this part probably went on your mind when you knew you was going to interview with me, but this is where the standpoint that I come from. When church itself is sometimes that very thing that trains you to be one way, but turns its back on you in such a conniving way. And then when you're people like myself and you, anger management, I go to once a week. So when I say I get it, and then
Right.
you're looking for a religious figure or spiritual figure to confide in, and they betrayed you, what else do you have left? So that part for me, that on that day, I remember seeing and hearing, I said, it must be something about this dude that stopped him at some point for him to be able to connect with spirit, no matter what he had done before then, no matter how horrific it was. That moment was like, he's still human. He still has a spirit or something there, and people tend to, human beings can't give us that all the time, and they are going to betray us. And even listening to him now in recent interviews, I still see why he stayed in this cell a long time, because he's not talking to God or whatever he believed that thing is that made all of this happen and kept him glued up, per se. So where did y'all spiritual background come from? Was, you know, I don't know if you guys went to church growing up. Is it just something that, you know, we just connected the spirit on our own levels, and you smiling, so I know it's something?
No, because it's a funny story in my book. You know, I can't tell all the stories I have a lot of stories in my book, but
let's tell us the name of your books too, because we left that out. Let everybody know what it is.
okay, the name of my book is The Nichols Brothers, Suburbia to Destruction, and it's available on Amazon right now. If you just type in my name, it'll pop up. You'll see Mark Nichols, and it'll be the first book on that list.
All right.
But
congratulations on that, brother.
The hardbacks are coming real soon. As a matter of fact, they're being printed up today.
That's blue, baby.
But we are Baptists.
Okay.
You know, my mom is the most religious person in our family. You know, we used to go to Sunday school. I can't tell. I don't want to tell a story.
That's
but
real.
we would go to church, but we were forced to go to church. We didn't want to go to church. So if we didn't have to go, we didn't go. But, you know, I believe in a higher being, and I know Brian definitely got more into church as he got older, which surprised me.
All right.
You know, he was in the church like that. It was a good thing, and I really couldn't believe it. But, you know, he took on a more religious background or setting than I did. I believe in a higher power, but I don't go to church because, stand up, sit down, and let me get some money, and
I agree.
And I hung out with a pastor as a longshoreman, and in order for me to go to work, it's starting to rain on me. In order for me to go to work, I had to go to his church. So I started hanging out with him, and I realized every church that we went by, he was like, man, he getting that money. He's getting that money. I'm like, wow. I mean, who's preaching that word? I never heard that. So, it is what it is. I believe in the high being, but I don't believe in particularly going to church every Sunday.
You and me both. Church is where you are right now.
Right.
Is there anything that you want to share? Because I'm going to ask you in a second about DJ Cats. Cats T.
Cats T.
Cass T. I got it now.
Facebook got me messed up right now. They won't let me separate it, but it's Cass T.
I love it.
What's
your question? Anything else that you want us to know about Brian Nichols that we don't know?
Well, he is not a monster. He is really a good person. I mean, he took care of people. He let people stay at his house for free. He's a good guy. The thing is, one thing that he talks about, that we talked about in letters and in talking on the phone, like recently with that Will Smith movie about concussion, he was a real hard, vicious football player.
Mm-hmm.
When he was going through that trial, they really didn't have anything on football players and concussions. So as he started reading and learning about that, he realized that he was a victim of that.
All right.
So that could have been a part of his snapping and believed he was fighting this one-man war. So I can really believe that from watching this movie and watch how they portrayed people with CTE, mm-hmm. how they started acting. So, he's not a monster, and he knows. I think this is probably one of the reasons why he sounds like, when he calls here, he sounds like he's home. Like it's no stress in his voice. Like, and I think that's because he knows that what he did is wrong.
That's real.
He knows that's where he's supposed to be. He's glad that his life was spared. He can still see his children. He got to meet his son for the first time, and his son was born 5 days before.
I saw that.
And his son had known that his father had done something bad, but he didn't know where his father was at. So Brian actually got a chance to meet his son for the first time. He had his son and his daughter together come see him in jail, and he got to meet him for the first time, and they loved it. His son was happy.
Right.
It was a good thing, because we never knew. We were always thinking that, wow, he's gonna have to wait until he's 18 to make his own decision to go see his dad, but we were glad that his mom decided to let them go ahead and meet. So that was a good thing. And he likes to give them advice, and try to keep them steered in the right path, because I can't believe that I'm doing this interview. I shouldn't be doing any of this. I should have never written a book, because this just doesn't seem like how it was meant to be.
That's real.
Anybody will tell you, I'm the wild one. They would think that I'd have been the one that done something real crazy, or something, or got myself in a whole bunch of trouble. But honestly, I don't supposed to be here either. Because I've done my share of dirt in the streets, but I've never killed anybody. But I've just done things where I shouldn't be here.
And maybe this was I know it's like, to most people, I'm a cusser, and I got to remember that you've been on Larry King Live, so that might not be your lane.
Right.
Most people, God, I just forgot. What did you just say? That's crazy.
About, wow, we both going to sit here and not know.
I love it. That's glue, baby. That's glue. We have the energy of it, and I'm a free spirit, so it's okay.
Right. We're just talking about how his kids are glad that he's still, able to give him advice, and he's still there, and he knows, that's where he's supposed to be. He doesn't even come out his cell.
That's where I was going. It may sound bittersweet or effed up to say this, but maybe what happened with Brian saved your life in the regards of slowing you down for whatever you had going on. to be still to write this book?
Yeah, it took me a minute to write this book because I wasn't slowed down.
I believe that. That's what I'm saying. I can say it.
Yeah, it took me a minute. So, it took me about 7 years, close to 7 years to do this book on and off. I had to go to jail a couple times,
Okay.
so, it took me a minute, but I got it together and I got it done. And I'm proud of what I've done. It's a raw book. I'm not sitting there describing the dewdrops on the plants and the sun rays flying through the windows, none of that. It's just a straight raw book telling you the facts of how it is, how we grew up, what it is, and this is what it is, and this how it's been.
And so, that's why Lisa sent you to me, because she know I love the real deal, Holyfield.
Right.
As we say in Forever I Love Atlanta, and I never want to sugarcoat anything. As a black man, I have young black men that follow me. What would you say to them coming in and out of jail if they're living that life right now that you slowed down? What words, what glue words would you give them?
It's not even worth it. It is so good just sitting. I mean, the rain is falling on me now, and it's my choice if I want to go in it, go out of it, or stay in it. It's just good to be able to do what you want to do and not have these people telling you what to do, how to eat, when to go to sleep. It's not even worth it. What they really want they really want us all locked up anyway, so they can have us farming down here. They got a farm down here where I'm at. I said, wow, they got inmates in white coming from the jail farming. I said, and they want us for that free labor. So it's not worth it, man. It's stay out of jail. Stay out of jail, because that's where they want you.
Talk once a week, Mark.
What's that?
I said, I see we can talk once a week, man, because you get on some topics that I love talking about.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. So they say Georgia has the most jails in America. You know what I mean?
I believe that.
So it's that's what they want to do. They want to lock you up and make you work for free. That slavery again. You're enslaved again. Either you're gonna work or we're gonna lock you down 24 hours. You make the choice.
It's still alive.
Right.
And before we get too far off, we gonna keep this right here on the Nichols Brothers books. Tell everybody else one more time where they can find you at and find your book, and as well as about DJ Cat's Tea.
Okay, my book is The Nichols Brothers, from The Nichols Brothers, Suburbia to Destruction. It's on Amazon. All you have to do is write my name in, Mark Nichols. It'll be the first book that pops up. And DJ Cat's Tea, he's going to be making a comeback. He's been in retirement for a few minutes, a few years. But as a matter of fact, I'm going to make a comeback May 8th. I'm making a comeback, May 9th, I'm making a comeback. So look out for me. I'm still good. I'm still nice with them turntables. A lot of DJs came up behind me. I done taught a lot of people in Baltimore.
I want you to make sure you come back to Glue Land to give me that Glue interview on May 7th or May 8th, leading up to your DJ Cat's Tea interview, your debut again, coming back out. And I love the fact that you're still dreaming despite what has happened along your Glue ride. So don't you stop dreaming, black man.
I won't. Thank you very much.
Hey, to you out there that's watching this, be great. Start your upper movement today. They telling me a message. I'm learning Zoom. They just told me your free meeting will end in 10 minutes. Please upgrade. Well, that lets you know out there, Glue Land. Go to zoom.com. They're going to be a sponsor soon, I hope. Go to zoom.com and log in for your free 30-minute interview, because mine is about to end right here. In the meantime, in between time, be great. Be great. Start your upper movement today, for tomorrow is not promised. Please get yourselves tested for HIV/AIDS, and know no matter who you are and no matter where you are, that God loves unconditionally everyone, and it's our duty to give love unto everyone. For those of you that made it this far through this Glue interview as we tested out Zoom, I appreciate you in my pinky toe. And Mark, I appreciate you for being my first test subject.
I'm on it. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Hey, that's Glue, baby. Stay in touch, brother.
I sure will. Thank you.
Thank you.